Good to hear. Let's hope your execution matches your enthusiasm. I've got a job for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk to our citizens and members of the community. I'm your host, Fastcart, also known as FC. As always, how's everybody doing out there? I see a bunch of people in Twitch chat. Let me get the window up real quick. Lotta-san, and me of course, and Fish Face, and Potten Space, and DK. How are you doing? DK, you may like my monologue in a bit, but hey, C2 Creator and Go Map, yo! Yeah, so today is the day before IEE. Who's excited? I am excited. And I'm also excited for a different reason, because our friends at StarJump have features that they'll be adding to their fleet viewer soon. We're not going to talk about that tonight, but if you want a sneak peek at it, go to our Discord and go in the videos, media videos, and I have a couple of clips from StarJump Grim. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm really excited for it, and a bunch of other people at Soul Citizens are excited for it. I also have a Flights of Rhythm tomorrow at 2100 UTC at twitch.tv/ThePeopleRadio, so I'm preparing for that. I'm halfway done, put it that way. We're halfway done. And yes, before I forget, yeah, Unique, as Fitchface is fond of saying, Unique fed the beast. He said, "You're so funny." Thank you, Unique. I appreciate that. At least someone appreciates my humor. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a good week. Yeah, tomorrow's IE will be covering that. Before I forget, let me bring this up real quick. So we're still doing our fundraiser for Gamers Outreach. I'll put the page up. There you go. So we're still doing a fundraiser. So if you want to donate to that, hopefully Amokitsunagi can put the link in the chat for me. So we're still doing that. So I just want to cover that before we get to the rest of the show. But before we do that, I'm gonna do my monologue and then drag people down. So hold on, let me get the I have to prepare the audience for this one, because I know the lines are not exact. I had to change a few of them because it's a monologue, and I don't have the voice for it. So please forgive me, okay? Wallace, I should have recognized your voice and your hand in this. I met Ace before. She had the power to give anyone she's in contact with hallucination, as you can see. If someone needs to take her down, I'll do it. Sorry, yeah. I'm the only one of us Ace knows. She might let me get close enough to use the device. No, I can't say that I've liked playing with your new Royal Flush game. They won't play with you? Can't imagine why. Your training cheated you out of your childhood. I know what that's like. No, I wasn't going to use Waller's weapon. Yes, I was going to try to talk you into fixing what you've changed. Yes, you're dying very soon. I'm sorry. All right, hopefully people can recognize that. Oh, I see someone who might be able to recognize that right off. I'm going to drag people down. And by the way, if you want to join us in Twitch chat, click the Discord link below. Oh, sorry, in Discord. Sorry, if you want to join us in Discord, click the Discord link below to talk to us. So you were joined by DK, Dark Knight 75, Fit Space, and Cotton Space. How are y'all doing?
Yeah, cool.
Good.
Okay.
Trying to figure
So-
that out, fastcart.
You don't know that one?
You're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna go. Oh, I should have known the name of that one. Watch.
Royal Plus Gang, Ace, Shaira.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're gonna kick yourself.
I am gonna kick myself. Okay, go ahead. Who else? Who else has got an idea? Who else?
Let me see if anyone said anything in chat.
Nobody
Dark
said
Cadman
anything yet.
lost on you. No, okay, so no one seems but it's from Justice League Unlimited, the TV series.
Oh,
It's called, the title of the episode is called Epilogue. It came out in 2005.
Wow,
It's from
man.
season 2, episode 13.
That was a
This-
wow. That was a long time ago. I haven't seen that.
Hey, it's still within 20
dude.
years.
Well, listen, for everybody that's out there, including us in chat here, thank goodness he didn't pull any monologues from what we've watched over this past weekend.
Yeah, because you know why?
Yeah.
Last weekend, yeah.
Yeah, because I found out a few days ago that Kevin Conroy passed away on the 10th, last Thursday.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's my send off to him. But just before we get into everything, I just want to say that that episode marked the chronological end of the Bruce Timm Batman story. More specifically, the episode is also intended to be the de facto series finale for the 1999 series Batman Beyond, as well as the 92 series Batman the Animated Series.
Series. Yep.
So
Damn,
are
I
you
should've
kicking
known
yourself,
that.
DK?
Yes, I am kicking myself because I
I
don't remember the line, but I remember the show, and I just like,
Yeah. All right then.
oh, you're
So
good
let's
for
go.
trivia, buddy.
So yeah, I put the link in oh, he already did it. Nope, he didn't. Yeah, I'll put the Discord link in the chat real quick. Just want to join us? Come on in. All right, so first up we have our sneak peek. And there it is on the screen. You should be able to see it is. So yeah, it's called, the subtitle is called Out into the Wasteland. Oh yeah. And so what do people think about that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Pyro's done. I think they're just giving us more to just look at until they can get it, get it into game. But for the
Yeah.
most part, it's done, and they're just like, "Here's more," We're just keep
Yeah.
adding stuff and adding stuff. They're talking about the outpost and everything. So, yeah, it's just gonna keep on coming.
There's a Tumble Ranger in that picture.
Oh yeah.
I heard. Didn't somebody say there
yeah.
was a Tumble Ranger in there?
It's
Yes.
not Tumble Ranger. It's a pile of rocks. Okay.
Pile of rocks.
CIG, they said, they confirmed it.
It's a
Blow
pile.
it up. Enhance, fast card, enhance.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second.
Where?
Alright, so I'm blowing this part. That's not that part. That's the not the Nox, the Dragonfly.
That's-
Where do you see the
no,
Tumble
it's-
Ranger?
It's supposedly on the left-hand side, on the like between the building and the side of this picture.
Pile
It's
of
supposed
rocks.
to be over there.
Yes, thanks, Ray.
Oh,
It's a
you
pile
are
of
correct.
rocks.
No, he is correct.
What?
Wait, you see it?
Because yes, I can see it.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna
No,
tell you why. I'm gonna
come
tell you why it's not a
on.
pile of rocks, though. Admiral. You wanna know why?
Why?
Look at the dust.
There's dust on planets in the game right
No,
now
no.
when no
But look
vehicles
at
are
the
around.
But look at the dust. Look at all the other rocks.
Oh my
But
god,
look at
this
the
is a
dust around that.
So you're saying it's moving?
Yes.
So
It's
fast
moving.
what he's looking at is to the left of this tower here, on the border of the picture, right below the horizon.
Yeah, I
see
think
that?
I'm as far left as I can get. The border of the horizon. Oh, I see it now. Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
okay. I see it now.
I mean, there's literally a CIG post where in Spectrum where someone says, "Hey, is that a Tumble Ranger?" and Xylo says that is correct.
Prove
So,
it then. Where is that?
Call it. It's in Spectrum.
I need to see that.
Yeah,
Just go to Spectrum and search for Ranger.
If you can find a post and link DM me or give it to Chris Nugget, they can put it in. He can put it in chat for us. But
I'll
Zombie
look
Pig.
because I call BS. Sorry.
I'm going with Zombie Pig in that one. He says it's a C2. He might be right.
Oh, by the way, we are joined by Emma Kusanagi and Rain Cloud. How are you two doing? And GoMap, ATL.
Right.
Hey guys.
All right.
So yeah, we got a full house. So yeah, okay. So yeah, this is a lot more than I bargained for our typical screenshot, sneak peek. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And it, like I said, it's out into the wasteland. Are you looking up the link? GoMap?
Yeah, I'll try to find it. It was in the on the Reddit.
Dev tracker.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Trying to scroll back.
Alright. Well, let us know when you do. I'm going to move on. All right.
I mean,
so,
okay. So I found it. It's here. There's Xylo saying that is the correct answer. And if you think he's actually being honest, and he's not just toying with people, then I've got a really awesome bridge to sell you. And I know a lot of Star Citizens have a lot of money, so I've got this really cool bridge.
I
That's
do see
$1,000.
It does not look like a it looks like a vehicle to me. But maybe I'm, I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the RSI Galaxy, says Urban Burger.
Wow.
I love it.
I forgot to say no leaks in this episode, and this what happened. No, I'm messing with you. Alright, so up next we have our started live from last week, and the title was Tasting Racing. I look at the new fighters summary of it, and I think I did call it live, but it's been a week, so I've forgotten a lot about it. But they mostly covered. Well, before I say that, did anyone else watch it, and anyone had highlight that they wish to point out?
Yeah, I watched it. Let's see. The dev said he had the I don't know if you call it a world record. Well, he said world record, but it's not really a world record. I guess it's a universe record. But it was only the two of them. The only two that raced with two. But, so I guess one of them had to have it at that point. But it's
I mean,
work on it.
the crowdfunding project is already already in Guinness Book of World Records. So hey, what's one more record, right?
Right. He said he has
Anyone
the
else?
record until it goes live. So hey, live it up.
Well, racing is officially coming to the PU. As far as like a racing, you can't really call it a career. I think he mentioned that too. It's like you can't really make it a career, but you can, get. Can you get reputation with this?
I mean, you can say profession rather than a career.
Yeah,
Career means,
and you can.
a career like kind of says that you can make a living off of it, but you can't have a profession or a hobby out of it.
They're
Right.
actually making it so that the reputation system is tied into this, so that you have tracks that you get sent to, and as you do well, you earn reputation through the missions that unlock new tracks.
Yes, that was it. That's
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you for that. Yes.
Yeah. Which makes this, it's got missions, it's got reputation, it's got money, it's got rewards, it's got leaderboards. How is it not a career path like in the game?
Yeah,
like,
if
you got a good
1,
point.
2, 3, then you should be able to make a career out of it.
right?
You get
I think it was
prize money.
Yeah. I think it was just one of the devs that mentioned it. I don't know if he was serious about it, but I think that was just something I overheard. But no, you're right. It could be a career if you've got all of those aspects in there, such as the money.
I mean, ever since the
and
dev said it's a cracking, it's a carrot killer, you can never take them seriously ever again, right?
That's true. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Are we
But
talking about
that's-
the
right.
Galaxy? Is that what you're talking about right now?
Yeah, Keep
Yeah.
on bringing that out.
That's why I brought that question up to the rest of you. If I can log into the game, get in a racing ship, and go do racing and earn reputation and set times and earn money, how is it not a career?
No,
right?
it is a
career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
think it's
Can you earn enough money?
we don't know yet. I mean, we'll have to wait and
That's
see.
the
I mean,
question,
okay.
yeah.
Now, I have a question. When you do racing through reputation, is it going to be that you are a racer for a particular faction? Is that what the goal
Like
is?
a
Anybody
club?
know? Or,
We
right.
haven't
don't
been
know.
told yet.
They haven't
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it
just
comes
wondering
down
if anybody's
to
heard.
like if you're a good enough racer. Let's just say you're on the way up, right? You could get
Mhm.
sponsorships by Soul Citizens, and maybe even put it in the side of your Liberator or your C2 that
Mm.
like carries your ships and takes you, and you get money from that on the side along with the racing money. So there could be avenues that that could come about just by them implementing something like this, like something else can come from the side that wasn't really expected. So we'll see what happens.
I'll just say
Yeah,
what I
'cause I'm
said
just-
last time. Oh, sorry, Pops. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'll just say what I said last time. This, you all know tomorrow's my 10-year. I've been waiting for this. This is huge. This is
Mhm.
racing in the verse, tracks and reputation and money and time trials and rewards. Like this
Yep.
is huge.
Mhm.
So, and I'm super, super,
Mhm.
super excited.
Yeah,
And
'cause
even without the Grimhex
Mhm.
racing course, that
Yeah.
was the one that was touted and put in, and I can't remember what patch that they showed all of that new stuff in there. They haven't even used that yet, but we've got racing courses on Lorville, we've got some on
Mm.
Uterpe, we've got some on all these different places. And I think
We
it's
have a
so
racetrack
cool.
next to Grimhex
Next,
as well. Yep.
and one next
Mhm.
to Grimhex, right?
You heard
Yeah,
it here,
'cause
folks.
I'm just
Rain
okay.
said
Yeah,
it.
I'm good.
I was just gonna say, you heard it here, folks. Rain said it. After 10 years, you get tenure, and that gives you retirement options in Star Citizen.
It
So-
does. Yes. It does. Yes.
Yeah.
Medicare and Star Citizen. There you go.
I'm
my
already on
God.
Medicare. Leave me alone. Anyway. I'm already on Medicare in real life, and I get most of my medical from the VA too. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just wondering if there's going to be any type of, because we have a nine-tail side, so I'm just wondering if there's going to be a criminal side to racing. Is what I'm really driving at. If there's like if you're, how you do in the gambling end, you throw races, or any because you work for a particular faction, and
Be a
maybe
Tusken Raider.
yeah,
I got it.
yeah.
For the illegal side, it'd be called racing Daemon Drift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Atmo Esports and XGR are. I watched XGR cry over this, right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
these tracks, some of these tracks are just like the Snake Pit. It's CIG saying the community loves this. One of the things I loved about CCP with EVE Online was they would see us doing something in the game that didn't have official UI and features. And then, I don't know, 5 or 6 months down the road, here's a contract system. The players were already making contracts, so let's just give them an in-game thing to say, hey, we're listening. And if this doesn't show people CIG cares about racing, because people were like, oh, master modes, you've killed racing, you don't care about racing. If this doesn't show that they care about the community, that they listen, that this is truly a collaborative product, and that they care about the community and the racing, like, I don't know what else will show people other than people who made these tracks, seeing these tracks become physical missions and places and crying with like joy because they're responsible for something being in a game. What else what other line is there to cross before people are like, wow, CIG is freaking awesome?
I mean, you still have people saying that there's no gameplay in the game. And people, play it almost,
I
every
ignore
day.
those people.
So, I mean, of course, there's going to be people saying that, other stuff like that. So, you can't win. CIG can't win either way.
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
because I
So
thought
guess-
the only racing, official racing was going to be in the game was by Grimhex, and they've definitely expanded it way further than I ever thought.
I mean, I kind of expected it to be more than that because I mean they have Arena Commander. Arena Commander is based on locations that's going to be in the game in the future. That it's an in-game game, but it's supposed to be based on Mirror Cup is something that's real. So I can imagine that they will put a Mirror Cup race in on the actual planet or moon when it comes out. So.
Yeah.
What it does for me, how y'all doing tonight?
Hey, BBG.
Hey, what's up, BBG?
What it does for me is it rekindles my imagination for the whole project.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about all the different types of tracks and opportunities and the hundreds of thousands of stories that will come out of the gameplay in just the opportunity to do this, imagine that across all the systems we'll end up with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be incredible, and it's just really exciting, super exciting.
Imagine if they decide to say, hey, you know what? The Daymar Rally, it now has a mission and markers.
Oh,
It's
that would be so cool.
real.
Yeah.
They've canonized it
Right.
already, but
Right.
this for me.
Make a mission out of it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you. Make a mission out of it. That would be cool.
Make a mission out of it. Ground racing, not just ship racing, and for BBG and like everybody else too. This is yet another instance of this isn't possible. They can't do it, and then they do. 3.0 with landing on planets, having an actual gas giant with a floating city. Now all the racetracks. It's like they just keep delivering when people are like, no, it's not possible. They can't do it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people are thrown off by just the pace of development. This is such a unique project that sometimes people can't get themselves around the pace of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you drop big things like that, they don't necessarily have to, because then they just get immersed in gameplay and are having fun. And then patches arrive and they're like, okay, now there's this fun plus, right? So I think this is a really smart move by CIG as well.
Well, look at the two. You just mentioned pace. Look how fast they pump these racetracks out. I understand that some of these were already, the area was there in XGR and in Atmo. They were already using
3
certain
weeks or 4
areas.
weeks sometime.
But this is what happens when you have the assets and you have the time to do it. Because I think one of them was, they're mentioning, we're waiting, we're getting testing done on 318. We need things to work on. There's new people being onboarded. Let's give them projects. We already have assets. And they're just like, we might as well just keep producing these things while we're waiting for, since we got the extra time, to work on 318 right now. Yeah. So we'll just keep pumping these things out. We'll put them in. And I think that is so cool. That shows, the pace is moving quicker than we think it is in certain areas. We're just not seeing it, so much in real time. Pyro is a really good example. Pyro is pretty much done. So the pace of that one is already done. They're just waiting on the tool to be able to launch it itself. But it also leads me to believe that there's more systems that are done too. It's not like they're just going to pump out Pyro. They've probably got a whole host of them ready to go.
Do they have 100 systems and in the back pocket already waiting for us?
Mm-hmm. They just didn't take out the net, so you don't see it yet.
Go ahead, Pop. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, ladies first.
Thank you. In a seriousness here, I agree with. I do actually think like maybe it's being overly optimistic. I know I've been a little pessimistic and jaded, but the last week or two's RL stuff that's been causing that. But there's a part of me that does believe the pipelines are in place. The assets are in place. I know what this is like. I've worked on multiple projects. Once you actually hit that stride, I actually believe that when Pyro comes out, maybe, just maybe, a dream might come true and we might see 1-star system every quarter. Imagine 4-star systems in a year. Imagine 2 in a year. Just two more,
their
right?
goal. I think that's their goal.
Now, the only thing that I would really like, I doubt if they could, well, let me not say doubt, because they would be optimistic. I would like to see some way or somehow that they involve a mafia type element into the racing.
I can see them doing
Maybe.
that. Like maybe not Twit Pacheco, but someone like
there you go, a mission giver.
Right.
You want Royalton Industries from Speed Racer?
Yep. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Going back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back. Yeah, I would just like to see that new, where you may have to borrow money from the mafia, some other type of shady elements put into, because I don't know, it just seems to me racing wouldn't be, it should have that gambling, that under dark tone to it somehow.
Bob, I could absolutely see you taking on certain racing missions, and then after that you ending up in a pipeline where one of the more shadier mission givers says, "Hey, I see you're taking on some missions. I'd like you to run this race, and if you win, I'm going to give you this extra amount." Or maybe if you come in second, right, something crazy like that. But if you don't, then you're going to have to do these other things for me and put you in that sort of mission tree.
So
that's not hard to do.
You're trapped. You're trapped in that underground. BBG.
In other words, I'll have to get good.
Yeah.
What if the mission giver tells you, you know what, to earn your maximum amount, you have to come in third?
Well, that could be the throwing the race, yeah.
If I can throw this out to the rest of you, remember when we first got mining compared to where it is today? Right? It's let me turn this down here. Right? It's the same situation. We first got mining. We have the mole, and we have the prospector, and we have hand mining, and we have surface mining, of asteroids, and we have cave mining, and we have the rock and the rock DS, and we have mining lasers with subcomponents. They were the first thing to have subcomponents in the game. That part of that new tech. We have the little usable things that you can put on asteroids and things like that. That's every single feature, every single career loop gameplay path in the game is going to get that treatment. So I, for one, see this is one of the first times they've delivered us a tier 1, because this is a complete racing experience. XGR, Atmo Esports, they've all been talking about it. This is a complete package. I get to log in, I get to take my racing ship, I get to go racing and make money and earn rep and get rewards and unlock tracks and have a progression. Complete racing, tier 1. Where's it going to be next year? Right? It's going to be even more next year. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
And with that, I think we should probably move on, because we do have
I just want to say one last thing for it, because it's really quickly. With this though, in my opinion, I really like to see this, because I was talking to Nihilus a while back and about racing, and I was thinking about getting one of those wheels. So I want to see when they get down to the ground vehicles and they start implementing that.
Good luck building your own sim pit.
No, I didn't say that, but I'm not going that far. I'm just talking about, I'm not going to noob.
You don't want the 6 degrees of movement system that he's got.
Ooh. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if I saved up to try to do that, but I'm all right.
All right, then. So up next we have the Traveler's Guide to the Galaxy, not the ship. IAE 2952. So yet another edition to the Traveler's Guide to the Galaxy, your expert companion exploring the most important and breathtaking destinations of the universe. So this looked to be in lore, but it's for new players to come in and check it out. You got new Babbage, you got the interstellar spaceport because that's why IE is. You got all the Picos, that got the transit map, a Studio Grand, and they got a video to how to get the convention set up. They should have done that years ago. They should have done that years ago, especially how to get to. But the Tobin Convention Center, that's where everything is. Everything's in red. I like the color scheme. The expo hall. You stay hydrated and get food from the vendor there. They always had the video there ever since they implemented food and drinks that being necessary. And yep, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I have a
Go ahead.
question. The ship showdown with the color, the paint. Is this the first year they've tied that into
No, they've always they
tied the color scheme?
Yeah, I think so. The color, because the last year the colors were blue and yellow, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've always had to tie, or
Like
whatever manufacturer color scheme,
Okay.
This year's great. So go
I just
ahead.
want to thank GoMab for posting that link for the Xylo thing, and you have to open it up. So I was able to open up the thread he was talking about, and there it is right there. So we all see what the real. Let's see. So we all see what's really on the screen. So we can.
All right. Oh yeah. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah,
All right. You're
uh,
right. There's the left thing. Let me move it into the proper window.
Yeah, but you see what he's saying is correct, right? It's the abominable snowman, Bigfoot.
There it is. That's who it is.
Oh.
I knew it.
I couldn't see it until I blew it up.
Well, at first I thought it was the Loch Ness monster because he was asking for 350.
That's what he's agreeing to. Just saying, folks.
The things I put up with in this group, but yeah. Where was I? Oh, here it is. So the next up they have take her out of the ice. You want to go outside. Make sure you bring protection. Because it's really cold out there. You can freeze really quickly. Not quickly, but permafrost. The commons. They're giving you basically a tour of New Babbage. It's expensive there. Not really expensive, but it's upscale. I guess the word you want to use. Pleasure for the palette. You got Webbers, Wally's Bar, Beauty and Microtech. Oh yeah, I do love how it can have like multiple biomes within kilometers of each other. And that's it. So yeah, do you think that this Traveler's Guide is going to help new players?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
I think when you said navigating to the convention center, you guys remember when it was at ArtCorp and trying to get to that one because
his passion is so.
That's
BBG, you're not using the correct mic, or you're too far away.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead again. Okay. All right, so yes.
TV.
Okay. So yeah, that is the Traveler's Guide to IAE. And speaking of IAE, you have the IAE 2952 Free Flyer, the Intergalactic Aerial Expo. So here's how it works. You basically create an account if you don't already have one, and you have access to the ships. Basically, day by day though, you won't have access to all of them until like the last 3 days. So there's a schedule to plan your test flight. So here's the schedule. You got there. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, being new, you're gonna get lost. If you come into the game and don't know anybody or know anything, you're gonna get lost. It's gonna, that's bound to happen. I just wish they had a way to. I don't know if they could do it, but if you had guides or people that maybe a booth or something like that.
Well, they do have those little placards, not placards. I don't know, those little signs that said this way to the expo everywhere. but sometimes it
Yeah.
can be confusing too. But yeah,
The key is
But
to
yeah,
place that. The key is to place that traveler's guide, which does work for new players, on the front page of the IAE page.
Okay.
So if you imagine how new players are going to come to the website, they're going to see this countdown or expo on the front page. If they click on it, there should be something on that front page that says new to Star Citizen or new to the IAE, click here, and then they can see how to move. Otherwise, they're going to have to find it in the communications, and that's going to be less likely.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is the first day, the Drake interplanetary, and the list of ships. And there was a whole lot of ships. Matter of fact, when I first looked at this list, I forgot there was a free flight list. So I was like, "Where's the Millerman? And where's the Endeavor?" Because I was thinking about pushable, but no, these are just flight ready ships. So that's why you don't see everything. This is Origin on day 2. Aegis Dynamics on day 3. There's a whole lot of ships. Our aliens on day 4. You got the Defender and the Xperia. Oh, you don't have to. I don't see any. Oh, there it is. The Blade Enclave. Okay, never mind. And you have Anvil on day 5. That's a lot of ships again. I don't see the Heartseeker. Oh well, that's interesting. You have Argo, CNU, Consolidated Outland, sorry. Three Cat and Crew. And that's a lot. That's quite a few ships. I can see why they consolidated them. They have Crusader and Tumbril. They always combine those two on together. No matter the IAE. So this is day 7. You have all those ships. Day 8 is Miss. Day 9 is RSI. RSI seems to be missing a few ships. Maybe they'll add more to the collection someday. And the Best in Show, just day 10. In August, they held their showdown contest. After a 10th battle, the Anvil Carrack took home the title with the Anvil Pisces, RSI Scorpius, and Crusader Mercury. According to Mercury this time, instead of only the Star Runner, finishing close behind. To celebrate the final 4 ships, the Best in Show day lets you test fly each finalist. Further, those that have one, or more of the 4 ships made into the semifinals will get a free limited edition ship livery and an in-game challenge card. Plus, all backers will receive an in-game model of the Anvil character to celebrate the winner. Also, all previous flyable ships will also be ready to test fly via the rental kiosk. Yep, and that's the rental kiosk. That'll be on the lower level in the middle somewhere. Yep.
Cool.
And finale November 28th to 30. All previously available flyable ships will be available during test fly rental kiosk, and that's it. Oh, sorry. Nope, that's not it. We got the new player guide. There's a link to click on the new player guide to provide you with anything you need to know. They have knowledge base and travel guide. The knowledge base is mostly and not in lore, more for people trying to like an FAQ and stuff like that. So yeah, and that's it. So yeah, any thoughts?
Very cool.
That pre-flight check at the end is really good for players who are, still only really coming in for free fly events, because it allows them to catch up on what changes there have been since the last patch they've been in on. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see that they're doing more to help new players that are coming in, whether they're backing the game or if they're just coming in for free fly, that they can learn. There might be better ways, other ways that they can utilize maybe the the community tab on to highlight some more of the
What's the hub now?
tutorials, the community hub, that's it.
Yeah.
to highlight more tutorials and start, it's just like linking to all of these different places that they can get information from than just this one page, but maybe can offshoot to, to various other tutorials that the community creates that help a lot, as long as they're within the last 6 months, since it changes all the time.
I'm trying to find a link real quick so I can get the exact.
Hey, y'all, I have
time.
a little bit of an
What?
emergency to go run and handle, so I gotta run off.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I hope all is
Take care.
well.
much
Yeah,
love,
hope
everyone.
everything's okay, Rain.
See you later.
You, Rain.
Take care. So yeah, let me put this in the screen real quick because I didn't load this previously. So give me 1 second. There we go. So you have 13 hours, 19 minutes until IAE begins. So that'll be noon? No, wait. 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah,
Ready.
11 a.m. Eastern. That's when IAE starts. So, yeah, looking forward to it. And don't forget, well, I'll get to that. I almost got ahead of myself real quick. But, yep, that's that. And then you have the FAQ. Welcome back to Microtech. This is posted by Chris Wayne Smith of CIG. You described what is IAE, what is taking place, and all the good stuff. They had the schedule there again. They got all the maps and everything that you had on the previous page. This is basically everything in spectrum form. How long does ship be rented? Just 48 hours. Do you have to have a copy of Star City to visit? Nope, you don't. But because that's what a free fly is. Will there be a reward if I visit free fly? Of course, anyone who visits a ship manufacturer exhibition hall will receive a IAE 2952 Spectrum badge of that manufacturer for display. And you know what? I don't know if these seem to be bugged for me or I just had bad luck, but I typically try to log in every day at the same time, and for some reason I always seem to miss a badge or two for some reason. On days when the civil exhibition says hall, you receive a badge from one of those exhibitors. And for all those passionate collectors among you, those are all the Spectrum badges, so that's 10 of them. Can you invite a friend, of course, which talk about the best in show paints. This is, I think this was added recently. Let me scroll up a little bit here. Will there be Warbond CCU available? Yes. Check back each day throughout the expo to see what's available. Each Warbond CCU daily deal will run for 24 hours only. However, this year's finale, November 27th, 4 p.m. UTC to November 30th, 8 p.m. UTC, will include a refresh with new Warbond CCU that will feature only at this time for select manufacturers replacing the prior deal. So anyone who's into the CCU game like I am, get those wallets ready.
Yeah.
This is how I got a $270 600i Explorer instead of $475. So yeah, the CCU game is real.
Now, is anyone surprised that some of those ships aren't warbond anymore?
As far as I know, none of these ships have ever been war bonded, except for the initial concept. So yeah.
The big expensive ones you can buy with fresh cash, but they don't let you do it with the Phoenix. So even the
the Phoenix has always been like that. The 800 has always been like that. It's a war bond, or well, you got war bond and still credit for 890. Sorry.
Is it like $1,000 around 1,000? They just let you buy it with cash and call it a day. Is that what it is?
No, if it's $1,000, they let you buy it with RSI credit. It's cheaper if you get it through war bond most of the time, and it has better insurance most of the time. But before we get,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit ahead. I want to say that for to be stock quantity limited ships. I said that wrong, but you get the idea. Yes, wave 1 is at 4 p.m. UTC, 8 a.m. Pacific. Wave 2 is at 12 a.m. UTC, 4 p.m. Pacific. Wave 3 is at 8 a.m. UTC, 12 a.m. or 12 midnight Pacific. So convert that all into your local time. Day 1, you have the Kraken and the Kraken Privateer. Day 2, you have the Orange 890 Jump. Day 3, you have the Idris and the Javelin. And day 6, you have the Consolidated Outland Pioneer. maybe. Well, I guess they probably won't show the land claim, but everyone hoped they will. They had to miss a whole sea. For some reason, I never knew that was a limited quantity ship. But it's too big for me. I didn't want it. I wasn't into it. So that's probably why I never noticed. And day 9, you have the RSI Constellation Phoenix. I don't know if I'm gonna get one again this year. I have a couple in my backpack already, but probably not because I have a 600. Have any additional question? Go to the News Player's Guide or the Traveler's Guide. So yeah, what were you saying about the wave or whatever you were talking about?
No, I was just saying, we're talking about the CCC. Isn't the Drake okay? Well, I know we probably see it later on in the show, but isn't that one Warbomb, the little starter ship? The
Cutter, you mean?
Cutter. Yeah, is that the name of it?
I don't know if it's brand new, it's concept, and it hasn't been released before. It'll be Warbond.
No, it's straight flyable.
Yeah, it's straight flyable. Then if it's straight flyable,
There'll be a Warbond.
It hasn't been released before. Then it will be Warbond.
Right.
That means LTI.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they turned this into a starter package.
That's true. Also, they could do that.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think that's out of the realm of reason, because I mean they did it with the Titan, the Cutlass. All of them have starter packages, so I'm sure they would be.
The Cutter? Yeah, I think it's like
Absolutely.
I think it's gonna be like $65.
No, it'll be cheaper.
You think it'd be that?
It'll be much cheaper. It's going to be closer to the Titan. I'm guessing maybe $60 tops.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, it could be. There's no telling. Because who would have guessed the Cutter still cost as much as it does? And some people were surprised that the Legionnaire was only 100.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, you got to put it in the realm of the Titan and say the 100i, but not the Nomad. The Nomad's always going to be top.
You think?
When it comes to the starter ship, because it's got the most capability.
Really nice.
It's the most capable. This has more to offer than a Titan, even though it has less cargo. But it has more to offer than a Titan. So I think it's going to be at about the price, or maybe just a little bit more than the Titan.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to jump. I know we're going to watch it, so I wasn't trying to jump the gun on it.
Oh no! We'll find out tomorrow. Of course,
it's on the ISC. It was on ISC today. The Cutter.
Yeah. But they didn't.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll wait to talk about it.
Yeah, and Jake Capella added a post today. The privateer will have a Warbond option. You see that above there. And it had to update the fact. So yeah, to answer your second question, the case store credit only pricing for the Holy and the Phoenix. Yeah. And also that means you cannot CCU to the Phoenix and you cannot CCU to the 890 jump. So that's that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I guess I wonder if you can CCU to the Holy, because normally they're limited in that aspect, but I don't see a reason why they would. But we'll see. But you cannot CCU to the Phoenix and cannot CCU to the 890 jump. So if you want to play the CCU game for those, you're out of luck. Also, I want to say before we move on, if you're looking for a good CCU game purchase, try the Endeavor, because the Endeavor will probably go up in price. So if you want to get a Starfare Gemini to Endeavor CCU, that's only $10, and you can use RSI credit for it. You don't have to use real money for it. The only thing that will screw you over is that if the Starfare Gemini increase in price because of the the gold standard. But other than that, or you can just pick a chip that loaded the Starfare Gemini that's already been gold standard or is relatively new, and you'll be safe in that aspect. So that's my CCU game tip for the evening.
So, Flobbod has a question. So Hull-E was limited sale now, and I think that's supposed to be on November 25th. So explain this to me. They're only allowing you to use store credit, so I can't use fresh cash. Again, I'm a little confused there.
On the Hull-E,
you can buy any of these with cash, but they don't come with the
It's like
They will
10
come
years.
with the 10 months insurance, but it doesn't have a discount compared to the war bond. Put it that way. It's full price.
So it'll be like full price, but like only come with like a 10-year insurance
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yep. And but like I said, but you can't get a LTI 890 jumper unless you're real fortunate and you have it running the original, and you cannot get an LTI Constellation Phoenix.
But I can take, like, if I get like the Hali, right, I can use that little like racing bike that came out this year that was like $30 and use it to transfer the LTI on the Hali, right?
Oh, you should be able to. Yeah. I don't believe the whole E is limited in the same way. I mean, I've never tried to get that whole E, so I don't know, but I don't believe it is.
Ooh, that is a monster of a ship.
Yep, it is. They stopped selling the CCU. Okay, Star Helix confirmed. They stopped selling the CCU to whole E, so you're out of luck. Sorry about that.
To which point? I can't.
You can't
Oh,
CCU that bike to
I
get the
can't see-
LTI.
oh, I can't go all the way up
You
there.
cannot
can't.
LTI. You cannot LTI the whole E. It'll
Nope.
come with 10 years insurance.
10 years long.
But they could bring it back like the players.
Pretty long.
They'll do a they might do an LTI sale on it when it comes out, and the price is about 3 times too much as it already is.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I may have to agree with DK on that one. Hey, it might be possible.
They might be possible. They'll do a
Yeah.
limited LTI sale, day one release of the whole E,
Yeah.
and that's the only time you're going to do it, and it's war bond only.
And Concierge will get the first dibs at it.
Yes,
then-
they will.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
they
and
will.
Griffin brings up a point that I should have mentioned myself, but no, these are limited quantity, so they will sell out pretty quickly, especially the Breizh and the Kraken and the other stuff. The Constellation Phoenix, they typically last like an hour or maybe half a day, depending on the interest. I don't know what the interest on the Pioneer is. It depends on whether or not they're still with the land claim, but I doubt they do, so maybe that'll last a bit longer. But typically the Address and Javelin, they last like 10 seconds, if that.
F5.
So the people are talking about the F5 game instead of the CCU game, because you gotta keep that refresh button going.
Again, if you buy something in Warbond, you don't have to do the F5 game because normally those last like an extra, 5 minutes or longer, depending upon the time of day.
No, that's not necessarily true. The Warbond Idris and the Warbond Javelin still goes pretty quick.
But let me bring up a question here now. Not Evocati. What's the
Concierge?
Concierge? There you go. Thank you, fastcart. Concierge. Don't they have it on sale for Concierge with Lifetime?
No.
No?
They probably will have some chairman's offers, but the limited quantity ships are not part of those.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. There's a horrible small
You
build
can
only.
you can buy it. You can buy a package like a Praetorian package.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Who has that kind of money?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Somebody does.
If you're going to get that, you might as well just go full bang and get the for Legatus package for $42,000 now.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, but yeah, so my thing will be the CCU game as usual. I don't know if they're gonna go like crazy like I did last year, because I do kind of want those skins. Because red is my favorite color scheme. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah,
Griff said
that
every
is-
time they sold the Pioneer, they sell it with the land claim.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Every time
alright.
they've sold it, they've been selling
Alright.
it with the land claim. So
It's not something I'm interested in, so I didn't
Unless
know
they
this, but
change
I'll
it.
take your word for it. I'll
Yeah,
take your word for it.
if you buy a Pioneer, you get a land claim, but they haven't individually sold
separately.
the land claim.
yeah, you can't
by
get the land
themselves.
claim.
Oh,
They did
Okay,
that-
do it separately,
can't do
okay.
that.
They did that
Yeah.
originally, and I bought one of those. So yeah, but I wish they would do that.
Oh, you're
again.
lucky.
That
Don't
would
melt
be nice.
Don't melt that.
Maybe one day they'll have a limited sale on land claims.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I hope.
Maybe.
I kind of regret not getting one because I didn't know what I was going to do in the game. But I mean, I think it's better to have than.
You know
Go
when they're
ahead.
gonna do it? They're gonna do it when they announce that you can build your own base. They're gonna sell land claims.
Oh yeah, you can see the
Yeah,
website
that makes
breaking right
sense.
now.
That's when they're gonna do it. Yep.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
the
All right,
website
so yes,
crashed.
that is the Intergalactic Expo back. And up next we have, oh yes, just went live a few hours ago. Star Citizen Alpha 317.4 live hat notes. Has anyone got a chance to dive into 317.4 live, not the PTU?
Just downloaded it.
You downloaded it during the conversation?
There just go.
Hmm. And so you haven't gotten into it yet. Has anyone gotten into it?
No.
Gomab says he's in.
My Corsair is not here. We got it to 40K. I thought it's 42 now, but okay, 40K. It's a bug.
fine.
Oh,
He's,
so
no.
okay. So that's one of the known issues, I guess. Let's look at the known issues. So the Saber Raven VFX flickers. Player may have to restart the game. Kick to the menu after 30K crash. 30Ks are back, I guess. Targeting pip may be missing or disappears from some players. Ship floating in the hangars when stored with the engine left and retrieved again. Character animation, character's arm will miss online when seated in ship, causing obstruction of the heading view. Ew, I don't like that one. Vehicle spawning cartridge spawns in a hangar for sideways. That's great. Shield, the weapon fire filtration ships when ships are moving. While dark warfare, multiple vehicle types will continually tilt instead of remaining stationary or snappily. The armored movement is attempted. The Argo Raft elevators controlled to connect the affected interacted from the hangar deck. Ooh. Should the Ares have a bug? Really? Highlights are the Ares are too dim to notice at a reasonable range. All weapons held like a pistol while moving like an EVA. Oh, that's awkward. Combat UFC missions or sometimes missing NPC spawn to complete the missions. Ew. FPS weapon holsters and unholstered unintentionally. Items may disappear between sessions. Ew. Weapons looted directly equipped from the container boxes are missing attachment. ASOP. Ships on landing pad end up in unknown state for locations that have to be reclaimed after the ship is stored or streamed out. Mission, bounty hunter, turret, and around bunkers respond very quickly, sometimes almost instantaneously. Wow. Stations are variably offset from the Lagrange front that are housed within. And they got the new features, got the big Corsair, and technical one server crash. So what are your thoughts?
Well, your shields are worthless now. Unless you
Say
can
again?
get the brakes really quick.
Yeah, Gomez said he just did a character reset, no dice. Oh well.
I saw where they
Yeah, but
fixed
that's
that, but apparently it didn't work for everybody, so I don't know what the deal is with that.
So, do you think this, Gomez, do you think the patch is free fly ready, or do you think there's gonna be a lot of issues? If they
Yeah, like
manage
you
to fix
said, they'll fix it. They'll fix it. They'll throw in some
Oh
little.
God, no!
You know,
It's not free fly ready. All right then. Hopefully they'll. It's gonna be rough. Yeah.
well, they have no choice. It starts tomorrow.
Are you talking about the Corsair is it's flying, everything works. It's a little slow, but I mean everything else
think we're
depends
just-
upon. I think I think it's going to be okay, really.
No, I think we're just talking about the game, and it's going to be rough. Yeah, it's going to be rough no matter what.
Well,
This
those
patch is going to be a mess. It's
known
okay.
issues are rough. Yeah.
We've had free flies probably worse than this one. It'll be just typical free fly for typical
Choo-choo.
free fly.
Hey, how's it?
Going on?
Hey, Choo Choo, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing, fastcart?
All right, you got any comments on the patch notes?
No, not particularly. I haven't
Okay.
been inside the verse in a while.
Okay.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm.
Well, welcome. All right, so yeah, that
Thank-
is the patch notes. And you want to click the link to put in the chat. You can look at them yourself.
Already there.
The slow down elevators. Okay, interesting.
They must have done that
Okay.
between PTU and now, because they seemed okay in PTU, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I hadn't paid
All right,
attention to
so-
it.
So we're not going to go into in depth about this, but I just want to cover it because Zylo put out a post regarding recent link. Does anyone feel like reading this for me? Because I read a lot.
I
You
can
want to do it? Oh, you're the narrator, so go ahead. Do your job. No, I'm kidding.
Let me just open it up.
Go ahead.
Wow, it looks a lot small. Let the dark side. Okay, so leaving this thread open so I can comment on the recent leaks. We know that with each patch there will be leaks, and most of the time we're fully aware of exactly what content will be data mined and when. Speculation based on data mining is really ever an issue, and we like seeing people getting excited about what's coming. It's great to see that enthusiasm. But the dark side of the leaks is sometimes things get out that we were never meant to see the light of day. Sure, if a gray box image of a near final ship leaks and that ship is just about to release, we turn the other cheek. But leaking outdated proprietary work info that will never happen, that's not cool. This week, a member of our team leaked materials by releasing pictures of internal PowerPoint decks. This is far different than data mining a test build we willingly put out there, and far more negatively impactful. An action like this only comes from someone who has no respect for their peers, the project, or the community. In this case, the leakers spread some misinformation, incorrect info that was never meant to be more than a few ideas dreamed up months ago and since changed. But because the leakers threw actual CIG work materials out onto the internet, these leakers have now created unrealistic expectations in some members of the community. And it sucks that we, CIG, will end up disappointing those people, this IAE, because of it. Believe it or not, we appreciate that you guys love the project so much. You are hungrily gobbling up leaks. While it's not ideal, and we hate having surprises ruined, we know it's a fact of life for entertainment IPs that are passionately followed as Star Citizen. But just as common in the entertainment industry is for devs to talk about things that get delayed and sometimes never happen. And we're bummed that mixed amongst some of the cool, accurate leaks of this week were some inaccurate ones based on obsolete PowerPoint decks. I almost didn't comment. Doing so only revives the discussion and casts a brighter spotlight on the leaks. But when I realized there would be disappointment due to misinformation, I had to jump in to set expectations. Separately, I'd be remiss if I didn't share with you how much these things hurt morale, especially for the ship developers who have had the intended reveal of their work stripped from them. Having had to persuade a developer that their work isn't ruined in these types of situations, I can tell you firsthand that these types of leaks suck. The silver lining is we're really glad to see people digging the ships, but we are bummed that we're going to disappoint some of you because some of the leaks just aren't going to happen.
Thank you for that, Amakushinazi. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time, but I just want to point out that Zylo did address this, and going forward and in the past, we typically do not cover leaks on this show or Soul Voices or Soul Citizens in general. So yes, I do want to thank Zylo for bringing that to our attention and making that post. It seemed heartfelt to me and it seemed sincere to me. Briefly, going to cover maybe like a minute or so. What are people's thoughts?
Oh, my thought is basically leaks are part of, NVIDIA, AMD. They use leaks, but this is entirely something different. It was malicious. So,
And thank you, Tubes, for the 5 gift subs. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I had to agree with Pops. I mean, leaks are pretty much across most every industry. From music, video to, like you said, gaming, tech, stuff like that, to get people's response because to see their receptions, but to do something like this, and that is very disheartening to
Unfortunate.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unprofessional.
Yeah.
That too.
I'm just gonna put this out there that since this came out, and I've been kind of mulling this over, everything that if you watch the ISC today, you pretty much could tell the leaks that were coming out about that seem to be pretty, on point. Whether or not they have something additional to that ship, I'm not sure. So the way I'm thinking about this is I'm kind of thinking RSI is going to be kind of a slower day and not so grandiose that people think. So I'm just kind of keeping my expectations low so I won't get I won't get disappointed. We have a lot of ships coming out. We got the Corsair. We got some other, we got some Drake stuff coming out. So it's a big event anyway. So just don't get your hopes up.
There you go.
Thank you for that.
Manage
Like I said,
your expectations.
Right. Don't spend too much time on it. So that's about it for that. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Admiral, for reading that. Next up, we have the in lore fiction clean shot AIE prediction. And once again, I didn't get a chance to go through it, but it's like an in-depth article. So if you want to check that out, click the link that Admiral Kuchenagi just posted. So yeah, this is the clean shot IE predictions in lore fiction. And after that, we have our Inside Star Citizen for this week. This one is a long one. It's 21 minutes. People who have watched it, is there a good breaking point in the middle, or should I go through the whole thing?
Yeah. There's
Good
a
spot.
Good breaking point?
Yeah, there's a break.
Okay, all right. So we'll probably go until whenever that break is and come back. All right, so here we go.
IAE is here, and with it the biggest showcase of ships and vehicles this side of the Stanton system. And over the next 2 weeks, we've got videos galore dedicated to the new ships being introduced, the in-universe companies that create them, the way that we make them out here IRL, and updates and reworks to some fan favorites currently in the pipeline. But to get things started this week, it's time to talk starter ships, why they matter to the overall scheme of things, who needs one and why, and introduce you to the newest making their debut in tomorrow's showcase.
The purpose of a starter ship is a player's first entry into the game that gives them that little taste of what the game can do.
It should be relatively simple, straightforward, easy to fly, and should provide access to as many different game loops as possible.
They matter in the overall scheme of things because everyone has to start somewhere, so why not start with a little ship that can do a little bit of most things acceptably well to get you ready for the bigger universe. Even if you had every ship in the game, starships still have a purpose in that sometimes you don't want to risk your big value ships or vehicles.
Multiplayer or like finding people to play with isn't always like that evident, and you might just feel like playing for an hour or so, and then a starter ship is perfect because you don't have to have a whole team to man it.
They're also fun when you're doing something like a Zero to Hero run to get you started and on your way.
Zero to Hero is when people start out with one of the basic ships and try and work their way up using only in-game loops and in-game currency to buy one of the larger ships for a certain goal they set themselves.
I personally enjoy doing that sometimes because it gives you a new perspective on the game. When you first came into the game, maybe it was 5, 6, 7 years ago, the experience then is different to the experience now, so it gives you that reset and sort of relearn of the game.
I think you just made one hell of a good decision.
A lot of our current lineup of starter ships were developed back before our game loops really became a proper thing, and that means that we're in a really good position at the moment to introduce a modern starter ship that is set up to work with our modern game loops, and that's where the Drake Cutter comes in.
The Drake Cutter is Drake's entry into the starter ship market. It provides a well-rounded experience for one person to just go take on all that the verse can offer.
It's a ship that is very straightforward in the way that it's designed. It's designed to get a starter player from A to B as safely as possible while they do their starting gameplay loops.
You'll notice the materials and the whole look of the ship and how it's built. It's not really aerodynamic. It's very bolted on and like put together out of like different kinds of metals, and like some are more rusty than others. It's using the Vulture VTOLs. It's also using that Drake signature cladding and paneling that's like bolted on top. It's very functional but robust and slightly janky looking.
I think my favorite part of it is actually the way that it flies. It's got big engines, but quite small maneuvering thrusters, which means that it's relatively fast in a straight line. But as soon as you start trying to turn, you really begin to feel the weight of the ship, because it's quite a heavy ship for a starter. And that gives it a lot of character. And I think as most of the time that you spend in your ship, you'll be flying it, I think it's very important that we get that sort of thing right. It has a relatively large interior, the largest of any starter ship.
Everything is quite tactile on the inside. There's lots of levers and clunky buttons rather than holographic displays. You don't have the finer cladding on the inside that other manufacturers would do. It's all exposed insulation and pipe work just to give it that no frills spared experience.
As the ramp lowers, you're greeted by the cargo hold. This is where most of the components live in their component bays, and this is also where cargo is stored. You have a door at the back of the cargo area that leads you through into the hab, which is where the basic amenities that the cutter comes with are. You have your little bathroom, bed with a little reading light, a little storage locker and some shelving. And then through on the other side of the hab is the cockpit, which is where the last two components live, the pilot seat and dashboard.
The thing I like about the cutter the most is just how evolved it is compared to some of the other starter ships. It has a cockpit with a really tactile experience in it. It has onboard living quarters and storage, as well as an actual cargo bay that you can fit cargo and larger things in. So it gives you lots of variety in what you can do with it.
The Drake cutter is for everyone. It's a simple starter ship that everyone will be able to find a use for. In every fleet, there is a use for a small, tough, relatively fast ship.
Compared to the other starters, I think a lot of it comes down to personal preference on looks. It's quite a cool looking ship. It's got a bunch of little cool features, like I love the little slidey armor windows that you can pop into place. And yeah, it's just quite well-rounded.
It has access to more gameplay loops than you'll get in any other starter. You'll be able to carry other people. You'll be able to carry a vehicle if you're careful. You'll be able to very easily get mission boxes in and out. You can do a little bit of bounty hunting if you're very careful. It makes a very good explorer because it has very large fuel tanks compared to the other starter ships. It's like we took a Cutlass and made it tiny.
The Cutter is Drake's first foray into starter ships for the persistent universe, and will become available to all players straight to flyable when the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2952 launches proper tomorrow. But who is Drake Interplanetary, creator of the new Cutter, shunned antagonist of Invictus Launch Week, and this year's sponsor of IAE? Let's find out more.
Do you have a favorite Drake ship?
I love the Buccaneer. I used to be able to really wreck some stuff in that ship. Although the Cutlass is really good because it is, again, it can be good in a dogfight and it can also, transport some stuff. But I have a real soft spot for the Buccaneer. I'm very excited for the Corsair. I don't know if I can talk about that one, but that one looks super cool.
It's literally behind you on the screen.
Yeah, that one. That one looks cool. I like the wings. And the asymmetry is cool. Drake Interplanetary is one of our bigger ship manufacturers, but they sort of, in a nutshell, kind of sell themselves as the bad boys of ship manufacturing. They have a reputation of being a popular ship among criminals, which sort of implies that they're kind of courting that demographic, which is somewhat true, but not entirely true. They're very much a legitimate organization. They're a proper business, but they kind of very much take the stance of we're not responsible for what people do with our product. We're going to make highly modular, easily repairable, kind of cheap products. And if people happen to use those for crime, well, that's their choice. We have nothing to do with it. Another aspect to it too is the fact that they're so affordable and versatile as far as their ships. That's made them very common. So it's also one of those things. It's like why it's popular for criminals is that it becomes a very low profile type ship. So the idea being that if I want to commit a crime, I don't want to be driving a supercar. I want to be driving a car that a lot of other people are driving, so I can kind of blend in a little bit easier. So it's been fun kind of riding that line of them sort of teasing their criminal connections while not overtly being a criminal corporation. And so over the past couple of years, their marketing has shifted to much more of a, take back the power. We're trying to provide weapons and tools for the people because you can't trust the government or the military to save you. You need to have the tools to be able to do that yourself. So that's been kind of the thing that's been driving them for the past couple of years, and is certainly keying into the current IAE that they're co-sponsoring. Part of the reason why Drake is one of the sponsors of this year's IAE, aside from the fact that they were releasing a handful of ships, we were trying to figure out what would make most sense for them to be to contribute towards a theme, because that's always kind of a big discussion point when we start tackling each year's IAE. If you're familiar with our Fleet Week event, Drake always runs a counter program to it. So once Fleet Week is over, there's what's called Defense Con, which is Drake's answer, if you will, to Fleet Week, because Drake and the military have a bit of a contentious relationship. See, in their past, the first ship that Drake manufactured was the Cutlass, and they made it as a contender for a military contract. And so the military shot them down. They ended up just saying, hell with it, and we'll release it to the public. And that's how they basically got their start. So there's a little bit of contentiousness between Drake and the military. And so with IAE, their kind of bold message is the military is useless. Basically, you can't trust them. They're not going to be there for you. You need to be in charge of your own destiny, and you need to protect your family, and we're going to provide you the tools to be able to do that. And so one of the fun things, because that's very much on display with a lot of the Defense Con, like branding and advertisements and stuff like that. But one of the fun things is IAE is a much more kind of chill event. It's more downplayed, more low key. IAE as an organization, we like to sort of, talk about them in kind of brand words. So like they're much more intellectual. They're focused on engineering and innovation and stuff like that. And then you have Drake coming in, basically saying like, screw the government, and IAE having to be like, whoa, pump the brakes there, guys. So it becomes a fun balance between finding those moments where Drake kind of pushes through their edginess and overrides the IAE, and also where IAE is able to kind of rise up to kind of tamp down their more provocative messaging.
For those living in the past, it's a new generation, and Drake don't give a damn about their bad reputation. Yeah. Drake is often the manufacturer of choice for those who value pragmatism and clarity of purpose over luxury and over-engineered styling, and look to celebrate this ethos as sponsor of this year's Intergalactic Aerospace
I
Expo.
think that's our cue
But
to
at the
take a
other
break
end of
and go to the other and go back. So yeah, and let's go free for all. And welcome. I want to say welcome to Kimmy. How are you doing? Yeah. So anyone have any thoughts about what we've seen so far?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Pops.
Oh, okay. It was interesting. I liked that little bit about the lore that they gave about Drake, about their philosophy in manufacturing, how they came in, and a little bit of bad, Then they said kind of yeah, you're snubbing us out, but we're gonna go straight to the public and open up straight to the public, because I was kind of wondering about their lore. So that was nice. And the new ship, it's cool. I like the point of fact that it's a junker. You know, it's kind of like that. It reminds me of the kind, you know, maybe if your parents gave you a hand-me-down kind of a, you know, car kind of thing. It's got some rust on it, got some, you know, mismatched parts and things kind of duct taped together, you know, to get you out there because you're gonna bump into things and you know. So I like. Mm-hmm.
Pops, to your point, if I were to enter this ship, anyone's cutter, I'm expecting to hear the Sanford and Son theme song as soon as I enter.
Yeah, that's the way it kind of got me. It's kind of like they took a mule and put other pieces to it. Added,
put engines on it on a mule.
Yeah, put engines on it.
I'm gonna add to that on there, Pops. Seriously.
You know, that was just my thought. Okay.
Well, could
No
you
problem.
dub this? Could you say that this ship could be called the Cutter, aka Cookie Cutter?
Oh, you need your tetanus shots before you get on this thing.
No, don't take out your suit ever. Don't take out your suit ever.
Yeah,
They seriously need to put like, you know, some artist needs to design duct tape and put that in there just as a joke.
Yeah,
just do it. Duct tape wires to the wall or something. I don't know. Just do it as a joke. I think that's
I'm impressed at how clean it looked for a Drake ship. Like you don't see all the bits and pieces. Well, you do see the wires out there right now, right there.
Oh,
but I mean,
man.
It is clean looking for a
I
Drake
think
ship.
with wear and tear that should be coming in, you're gonna start to see your ship needing to get worse. I mean, this ship is brand new, and it's just funny. This part right here, Pops. This is kind of the question. I kind of prepped this stuff already, but last week we were trying to figure out what the hell the last sneak peek was, and I went through like every damn Drake ship out there.
Oh, so that's what it was?
I couldn't find it.
Okay, I'll put that up.
I got it right there. It ended up being that.
Yeah, I'll put that up.
So I was like, oh my god, I spent like an hour and a half looking for this thing. I think it's really cool. I love the name, the Slug. I don't understand why it's called the Cutter. It doesn't cut anything unless there's like a variant that comes out for it. And also I was kind of thinking it is fast, but it's usually a cutter is small than ship of the line, so I would think it'd be probably bigger than a Corsair.
Admiral, it's really simple. It's the smaller version of a cutlass.
Ah, there we go. I like that.
Yeah, throw that in there.
Point. Yeah. Well, you know, the selling point was the gas tank, man. I mean, we know we're headed to Pyro, and that selling point was the fact that, hey, it has a large gas tank or a quantum tank. And I'm like, oh, man, you could do that one, you know, you can do a couple of runs and not really worry about fuel. And it's a starter ship.
Well, they haven't. Yeah, we don't know what the size tank is, but it's supposed to. Yeah, it is true. It's supposed to be bigger than the other smaller ships. Like the Pisces has actually excellent like range on that ship compared to other ships. It's quite surprising how good the Pisces is.
They're gonna nerf the flight characteristics on this thing. They have to.
I think it flies like a prospector.
What did they say?
It goes fast forward and it's crappy, left, right, up, down.
Well, they said straight line. It's fast. He said, if you try to maneuver, it's on you.
I like the fact that they're setting the expectation because people are going, it doesn't maneuver like a Titan. It's so slow. And watch the video again. He literally just told you that it's a boat. So go back and watch it again. Don't complain about it. But I was going to throw in real quick on the aspect of Drake, the story, the design language, and whatnot. And I would proudly profess that I am not a Drake fan, but it's not really so much that I prefer Origin aesthetic as opposed to Drake aesthetic. But when it comes to what the developers and artists have designed and how they've implemented it and given it a language of its own, here I am speaking like morphologist. that
Oh no, you're gonna say it need to be nerfed?
No, I have not said that. I'm not going there. But what they've done, I mean, I think they're, I took a look at the Corsair yesterday, and just kind of walked around and, flew it around for a little bit. I didn't buy one. It's in my hangar. And, and so and then now looking also here at the cutter, I think it's really cool that they're really finding a place for the design of Drake and giving it the lore that it has. People were talking about the Corsair, and it's a pirate ship. It's a pirate ship. It's like, not necessarily. You can hear right here, Drake builds ships that just happen to be used by people that need a cheap source of transportation, and easy to repair and nonchalant. Nobody's going to notice it. It's a Toyota Corolla. And, it's that beat down Toyota Corolla that you picked up on the used car lot with 120,000 miles. That's the one that you're going to get as far as a Drake. You got duct tape on the seats. Maybe you've got zip ties holding the bumper on. It's just those kinds of things. But I think they've given it a story is making it even more cool. Now, I honestly, I'm not going to buy a Drake ship. If I wanted to buy one, I would buy it in game. But I like the aesthetic of both the Corsair and the cutter, which I haven't seen in person yet, but I like their aesthetic. I think it looks cool from a standpoint of it needs to be a rundown, hand-me-down, bolted together with, wood screws that you got at Home Depot. It's got to have that feel, and I think they did a good job with that.
I want to bring attention to one post from a businessman. He said the cutter looked like it would be at home in the Fifth Element, New York, Manhattan.
Yes,
I cannot agree more.
Yes,
It definitely had a Fifth Element feel.
And the space slug thing, that's all I'm going to see now is the space slug. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
welcome.
I was just going to say it's exciting. DK said it's exciting to see Drake really extend its design language. When you compare it to a manufacturer like Consolidated Outland, you can see how far some other manufacturers have to go. And I feel like we had a few meaningful Drake ships early on, but that they've really hit their stride with particularly the interiors and the detail and the overall feel of the Corsair, which, like DK, I flew in the PTU the other day, and what I'm seeing from the cutter. Just really exciting to see the devs hit their stride, and you look forward to that with all the other manufacturers that aren't quite there yet. So it's exciting.
I can't help but think about, seeing Star Wars when I was a kid for the first time in the movies, and you're looking at it in amazement, and you're looking in this world, they're using tech, and it looks like it was just used over and over and over again. But at the same time, you're amazed at its functionality. And I think they bring that into the game in that sense of tech that they're used to, accustomed to. It's not shiny. It's been used. It's purposeful, and it really aligns with that amazement of seeing the tech function, but at the same time, it's been used over and over again, and that it has that parallel with Star Wars. We're seeing it at the first time.
Levers and keyboards and buttons and switches. Yeah. It's really cool.
I think it's kind of funny though. They're like, "How are we gonna get this thing off the ground?" Oh man, we got all the goddamn engines from the Corsair over there. Can we use those? Yeah, just throw them on there and see if it works.
Yeah, it's two other things come to my mind. One of the things I know we always talk about Drake and their design. If I can mention the Corsair, that hammock, the storage thing over the bed, it looks like a hammock, and I wish they would put hammocks like that in the game as beds, because I think that gives you that submarine kind of feel to it, and I think that would, as a ship would sway, the little hammock would sway. But my other point is that I find out when I came into the game, because they were talking about starter ships. When I came into the game, I didn't really understand their philosophy on selling ships. I wish they would have a little bit more detail, a place to go to understand. And I'll tell you my reason why. Because we bought a starter ship and we were like, oh, okay, we got a little bit more familiar with the game. And then we went to look to find, other ships because we wanted to upgrade. And it really wasn't clear to us that, that they only come on sale at certain specific time, because we had to jump in a couple of Discords and try to find out. And the other thing that happened to us, and I wish they were a lot more clear with this, is when you buy the ship, it's your package. And so when you go and you melt it, I know they give you that. Yeah, I know they give you that warning, but you really don't understand the impact.
You don't read it.
You really don't understand the impact of that. I wish they just had another way of kind of explaining that whole process to you, because you're thinking, well, I paid for my thing and hey, I got it and I'm not really worried about it. I'm not doing anything wrong, but that's just me.
Yeah, that makes sense. And by the way, Pop, I think you mentioned the hammock. I think you just went into the ship and say hammock time.
Yeah, I do. I want to climb in there and go to sleep.
By the way, Kimmy, I was remiss. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it.
07, fastcart, my pleasure.
I just want to say, like, I was just reading the, I've seen this show, this program of today, so I just started to look at the clean shot. So if people could just take a look at that, it's kind of interesting information. One of the things they're talking about is thinking that Silas Comer from Constellate Outland might be at the show. So he might be showing up. So that's kind of interesting to see him pop in if he does show up, because if you remember, the last time he showed up was when the Pioneer came out. So
Pioneer.
That's one of the hosts. I think he's the host in that article, saying that's what they thinking is who's going to show up and go to a couple more than just their event, but maybe the first few days. So I imagine they're talking about the Drake show. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
You know what's funny is somebody had mentioned that, I don't know if you guys said this, but somebody mentioned that Jax McCleary is going to be bringing in the
yeah,
I was hoping that.
We'll see how they tie them in, because you got like 12 hours, so we're probably going to get a cutscene, cinematic on the first day. So we'll see what direction they take us.
Well, he's Misk, right? Went out in a Misk ship.
Yeah. They went out in the Misk ship. Yeah,
so I mean,
who knows what to come back on? I expect him to come back on the last day, but we'll see.
That article is saying that they kind of don't think he's going to show up, even though it does talk about him. And but they say like we'll see type of thing. But if he does show up, I think they're going to release the the Odyssey? I think they'll release the Odyssey.
No, okay, all right.
He's like, hey, I just came back and it got me back from Pyro. Here's the Odyssey. That's why.
I don't think we'll see him at least till Pyro.
Yeah, I don't think the Odyssey is ready, but we'll see. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead to the last part. This is 6 minutes. So let's have a listen.
Let's find out what went wrong the first time around and take a look at how the team aims to address the issues in the current internal concept rework.
So the 600i, when it first came out, was one of those ships that we talked about in the past that has had a troubled development.
The original 600i, its core issue was what we prioritized for space. The rear was a massive habitation area where there was pool tables and bars. And then you had the very front of the ship, which had the bridge and the captain's quarters. And then it forced the entirety of the core gameplay loops of the ship to live in the middle of it. So you had this small module where everything needed to happen.
if you're designing spaceships, you kind of need to make sure that everything's there for a reason. And when we get to the point where we've got kind of big unused areas of the ship that don't really support functionality, it just feels like a wasted opportunity.
The 600i was done relatively early for Origin as a brand. We'd had the 300, and it was the first really big Origin ship that we decided to do. Since then, we've obviously tackled much larger Origin ships with the 890, and throughout the course of the 890, the Origin style completely evolved from what it was, which you had some very technical and wooden surfaces, to instead have this lovely transition that goes between them, which can be seen across the 890, the clear but smooth divide between the different sections of the ship.
In terms of reworking the 600i, we had a sort of very clear brief. We want to bring it up to modern day standards. So there's a lot of features that didn't exist in the game there or weren't accounted for at the time, to integrate those into the ship now, and then to also make better use of the space, because anyone that's been on board a 600i knows there's a lot of walking and going up and down to get to where you want to, and it doesn't really need to be like that.
Currently, the 600i is concept complete. There's a couple of rooms which haven't had full concept work done on them, such as the crew quarters, but for the most part, every room has had a complete and utter rework.
The big change for the module section is its placement. So rather than being the sort of central core of the ship that you had to go through to get to the back half of the ship, it is now in the rear section of the ship, which allowed us to move the common shared areas to the central section. We did that change because it just makes the flow of the interior better. When you have a 600i, regardless of which module you have, you know the front half of the ship is a consistent experience, and then the gameplay alterations with that module is constrained to a very specific area at the back.
So the best way to think of the 600i layout is between three parts. You have the very front of the ship, which is the bridge and the captain's quarters. For the most part, they've remained mostly the same. There's been a few tweaks to the layout of the chairs on the bridge, but generally that hasn't changed very much. The captain's quarters is almost the same as it was before, except it's flipped round. The bathroom moved from one side to the other. The reason for that is directly behind that, the lobby area. On the top deck, we now have a small docking collar with space for a few suits. And the opposite side of that is now a lift to take you between two floors into the rear, the exterior of the ship. Directly behind that, which used to be the modular section, we now have on the top deck the crew habitation area. So it starts off with a large open shared communal space where there's places to eat, make food, and then to the side of that there's 4 private crew bedrooms. The floor beneath that now is where engineering and all the components that allow the ship to function have been moved to. Think very similar to what we've done on the 400i, where you have the separate engineering section beneath. Directly behind that, we then have the ship modular section. We'll start with the expedition version. So on the top deck, at the very, very top, we have the armory. There's a huge armory with plenty of extra suit lockers for you and your friends to take extra equipment depending on what you might encounter. Behind that, we then have the hologlow that allow you to do the exploration. On the middle deck, we then have the medical bay, which will have a medical suite similar to that as the Carrack. It'll have a tier 2 med bed. Beside that, we then have the secondary cargo hold. So this cargo hold, it's more readily accessible for the crew. So it's more for your day-to-day supply. So if you want to have a box full of your food or your snacks, that's where you put it instead of down in your main cargo hold, because you don't want to go rooting through your garage just to find that random pen that you've left. On the bottom deck of the expedition version, we then have the main cargo hold and garage. So obviously, as you've seen from the pictures from the recent Inside Star Citizen, it is much, much larger than it was before, with a much, much larger lift to fit much larger vehicles in it. In there, there's also 2 small lifts, one to allow you to bring cargo up to the main cargo area, and then there's the smaller one that goes through the 3 decks. Moving on to the touring variant, we get a completely different experience. The touring's primarily split between 2 main decks, though one of the decks is across 2 floors. So the upper deck brings you out into the large lobby area. From the lobby area, you can choose to go up the side staircases to the main meeting area / eating room, as well as a bar. And if you go left and right from there, you can get to the private guest suites. Private guest suites are very large and luxurious. They also come with their own skate pods. The lower deck is a spa. So the spa has a pool, a sauna, bar, as well as a kitchen for the crew to actually be able to make food for the guests.
So whilst we're kind of doing a complete or almost a complete rework of the interior, on the exterior of the ship, we're trying to keep it as true to how it is now as we possibly can. There will be some slight changes. We'll need to move the hangar bay doors a little bit. There'll be some additional kind of cutouts for escape pods, and we need to fit the airlock in properly. So there will be some minor changes, but overall we're trying to keep it as close to what you see now as a 600 as we can.
So next step is essentially just finding a slot in the production schedule for it.
It's about finding the space where we can start doing the production art and designers can get on board with actually making it come alive again. We're all super excited with the work that we've actually done on it. It's just trying to actually get the schedule to align so that we can begin the work on it. It's not going to start today or tomorrow, but it is something we're looking to try and include as soon as we can.
I think people should be excited for this rework just because of the significant improvements that the ship gets from this. Not only is a much better interior layout for it, even without the modules, the rest of the ship has just got a good improvement. Components are also updated, and it has extra features such as the med bay, which will just improve the gameplay role of the ship.
So yeah, that's an update on the 600i. It's been a bit of a curvy road to get to where we are now, and there's still some work ahead of us before we can really deliver it to the players in the format that we want. But I hope everyone's as excited as we are about kind of finally delivering the original vision of what we want the 600 to be. And I hope everyone has a great IAE.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Drake is making their way into the starter ship game with the addition of a cutter. That it's available to everyone starting tomorrow at this year's IAE event. That Drake itself knows what some folks think about them, but is going to keep on keeping on because they're actually sort of the best. And that it will take a while yet before the 600i rework comes to fruition, but the path forward will be one that's well worth the wait and finally allows this fan favorite to realize its fullest potential in the persistent universe. Now don't forget that in addition to the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, there's the annual free fly that goes along with it, and your chance to try out nearly every ship and vehicle that Star Citizen has to offer. Be sure you check out the robertspaceindustries.com website for the full details, and then come back tomorrow for a fun twist on our annual IAE ship roundtable for Star Citizen Live. We actually have a roundtable now, or at least a 6-sided triangle, or a triangle-shaped hexagon. You can be the judge. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all here next week.
And we're back. So yeah, that was the second part of the ISG. So let's any thoughts? Free for all?
I'm not going first. I'll let everybody else go first. Because I got a lot to say.
Go Pops. Go Pops.
Okay. I like this show because it goes from the junkie, from the Drake, all the way up to the Origin, to the white glove. It went from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
But my thoughts on the 600. I never looked at the 600 as a small 890 because to me the 600 always it had a different feel to it. I've always looked at the 600 as a fighter luxury ship kind of thing. It always seemed like it had that punch to it, and the feel 600 gave to me.
And as far as I know, they're not changing the armaments on the thing, right?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that makes you remind me, Pops, of it makes me think of the Polaris now, is when you say that. Like from the pictures that the Polaris have, like attacking like in a fleet of whatever. What you said reminds me of that and how this ship looks anyways and operates.
Yeah.
I agree with you as well. I always thought of the 600 as the M series of BMW, right? That sport luxury, right? Not just luxury, but luxury towards that aggressive functionality. So I'll be interested in how I experience these changes when I get in these 600 eyes. I am also interested / slightly worried, not too worried, but slightly worried when they said, the overall shape is going to stay the same except for some tweaks here and there. I love the overall shape. So I want to make sure that when they say that, there's not too many changes and it doesn't.
I mean, they can say that, but then when it actually gets into development, it may change because it's possible. But that's their intention at least.
Right. And so I'm not too worried because I think even the 600i all the way back to the 600i commercial, there's a certain thing they're connoting with that overall shape. And so I didn't anticipate too many changes that would harm those lines. But I'll be paying attention to that.
If you love the flying bedpan look, that's entirely up to you. More power to you. And I just want to address something Griffin says. He said, if you melted your 600i, leave it melted. The less of them in the reverse, the better his will look. Okay, that's the literal snob for you, everyone. The common of fastcart speak.
That's my favorite segment of the whole thing. I have both 600i's, and I actually had a CCU for Polaris. I'm glad I never used, and it was the ship, the ship I learned to land big ships with. It was the first big ship I really used. So I'm glad to see the rework and glad I kept them both, and I think I'm going to keep them both.
Now, speaking of both, I have the Expedition model. And, I was okay with seeing the concept and everything of this. But, dang, I kind of want the touring model now because it looks good. I mean, like, my biggest complaint about the 600i currently is that it looks too Spartan. It looks too clean. But that concept for the touring model now, I'm like, oh, if they can make the most of that into reality, quote unquote reality, I might be tempted, but I think I'm just gonna stick with one 600i.
Yeah, it looked like a rental ship to me all this time, so I'm glad they reworked the interior. I just felt like I was in like a Carnival Cruise Line launch or something in the back of it.
Holistically.
And it's amazing how the origin. They mentioned it at the beginning of the origin part. They mentioned how the origin style has changed over the years, and it really has. Because I mean, they started with the 300, then they went to the. I'm guessing they went to the 890. Unless I'm mistaken, I wasn't following that closely for the origin manufacturer. And then the 100. And 400, and coming back to the 600. Well, I left out the 600 in there, but yeah, they come back to the 600 now, and they've learned along the way, and they always say, like, if you have a ship that hasn't been produced yet, you want them to wait as long as possible because it'll be better the longer it takes, and they should prove for that.
Anybody else? Because I'm gonna go.
No, me one more time. No, just kidding.
Well, looking at the design, I was totally impressed. Even though I think I only have one or two ships from Origin, G12, and I think I had the 100C, which I got to buy back. But overall, I thought it was really cool how they opened the flow of the ship up. But I think, what about the people who are not basically Origin fans or just in general, what does this mean for gameplay? I think they're going to look at this as a narrative to look at the flow of all these larger or multi-crew ships to say, well, that's going to start happening. And you want to kind of understand what's going on the ship where it's a little intuitive, where you can move around and quickly, because then we're going to start looking into the multi-crew aspect of the ships. And I think this will be a beautiful test bed to put that to work once we get true multi-crew function. And I think when I looked at that, I immediately thought of that as to say, wow, that would really work well once you get all the components in a ship and you're working together cohesively as a crew. That would be a great ship to test that with because of the redesign. So something to think about.
All right, I'm going.
Before DK goes, I just want to say
Because of my rant.
I'm not trying to mess with you, but this is a thought I legitimately had. You'll be able to put larger vehicles inside the
Yes.
600i, and people that's really great news for people who like who may not be able to fit their vehicle that they have inside of it. So I think that's great. Okay, go ahead, DK.
Okay. So, regarding the exterior shape, I don't think it's really going to change at all, BBG. I think one of the intentions is to keep that shape as much as possible, aside from having to put on a docking collar, and rearrange a few of the exterior items, like you had mentioned, like the escape pods and the lift and all of that. And he said hangar. He should never have said hangar. But that cargo lift is going to have to change. So I think there's really going to be the bare minimum of changes when it comes to the exterior. So I'm on board with you. I like the design, the original design, what they showed in that awesome laser etching when it came out in the commercial. I thought that was just so cool. So I really hoping, just like you, that they keep the general design of it, whatever tiny exterior changes they can make, cool, but just keep the design of the shape of the ship. So I think it's great. My overall with this is that first of all, if you haven't bought a 600i and you're thinking about getting a 600i, you better do it this IAE, because if you don't, you're gonna kick yourself in the back.
Even better,
because
you
will
a game to get it
Dude,
cheaper
do it.
than the normal price.
Exactly.
Oh, but before we move on, how much you think the rework is going to increase the price of the 600i? It's
You're
like
looking at
$425 and $475 now.
You're looking at $550, $600 plus.
No, do you think so? Oh wow.
Okay, so here's my thinking about that. It's because this big rework, I'm gonna med bay, not just a bed, a med bay, similar to a Carrack, as he says,
Tier
and a
2.
tier 2. With it doesn't need a hangar, it doesn't need a repair module, it doesn't need drones. It has what it needs to be, as quoted, an expedition ship. It is an expedition ship for a private owner operator to go out with his friends and find archaeological digs, and find interesting things on different planets and scan for things like that. Maybe it could go out scanning for jump points and stuff like that, but that's what something a Carrack is more made for. So my thinking is that this is the every man's and every woman's exploration ship. It's going to have everything that you need as a private owner, aside from all the extra stuff that a crew of an exploration and expedition ship like the Carrack will need. This has everything that any private individual would want. That's why I like it, because it's my own personal exploration ship that I can go out with friends and go and have a good time in some planet, someplace far away. It's already been discovered by the Carrack owner, the planet itself. I'm going there to find all the tricks and everything else that's on that planet. The Carrack left already and went to go find some other other star systems and stuff like that. But for me, I get to go, the fruits of the labor of that Carrack. I get to go see what else is on that particular planet. That's what my 600i is for. This is going to be the ship that people want, huh?
Thought that was the Odyssey.
The Odyssey is, I know. The Odyssey is its own thing. I'm not saying this is a Carrack killer. It is not a Carrack killer.
Oh,
it is
you beat me for that joke. I was just going to say, what DK is saying is that the 600i rework is the Carrack killer.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is a ship for people that the Carrack is not, is overkill. This might be something for the people that really want a well-rounded exploration ship and can go out and do the things and feel good about being in it at the same time.
Your snob mate disagrees with you. They're saying that the freelancer dirt is the every man or woman ship. The Tick of the Die is for the exclusive man or woman. And with that,
Well,
I think we have to move on because we're pushing 2 hours and still got the Machinima to go on. All right, everybody. So thank you for that. And up next we have the Machinima. It's called Imagine 2.0, the Star Citizen fan trailer. I picked this up from the newsletter from last week, and I gave it I gave it a look, but I'm interested in hearing what you think. So here we go. My bad, we're back. I'm trying to find the date for the original Imagine trailer, and I think it came out. I think Imagine 1.0 came out in 7 years ago. So yeah, free for all again. What do people think?
All I have to say, and I'm gonna go first on this. All I have to say is, CIG, are you hiring?
Now, well, that's what happened to the last
because
to the person who made the original Imagine video.
Yeah.
CIG hired them.
Yes,
So
are
that's
you
why-
hiring CIG because this person here has created some stellar cinematography, and the music going along with it, excellent. Good editing, great shots, top notch.
We won't see any
It's
more.
almost
Hire
like
this
it's almost like you can get jaded
Yeah.
with the screenshot simulator like Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And you almost have to be kind of goofy to not be able to get a shot that's compelling in some way relative to other games and other projects on the market. So that when somebody puts together all the work in cinematography, in shots, in lighting, in editing, shot selection, music, and it stands out above the experiences you can have just flying your own ship, it's important to take note. And this is one of those. I agree with DK. This is put together in such a way that this person gets it. Right. And you could imagine them delivering future content that would be similarly compelling. So this is great. I thought this was great.
I want to add to BBG and DK. And my thoughts is when we see machinimas all the time and they're story based, they're going through a plot. To me, and this is just my personal feeling, to me, these types of things are harder to do because there's no there's no plot. You're not going from A to B. You're going around and you're finding shots. And to me, these are, I mean, I guess we're so used to Star Citizen, but some of these shots are, I see them as very difficult to find. Like with I think some of them had the lava, and I think that's what Arena Commander. Am I thinking about that right? And to put all these different shots together and BBG, you're right. It's just not a hodgepodge. It almost, in a sense, these things tell a story on its own. Each shot tells a story on its own.
Thank you for that. My thoughts are, well, it's really well done. I can see why CIG highlighted this in their newsletter. One thing that really stood out to me is that, how in a lot of Machinimas, this is not the fault of the Machinima, it's just the way Star Citizen is. Whenever a character moves, there's a lot of hooky and jerkiness. You don't see that in this one. And I thought that was impressive.
I think there's two
very
sides.
well done. Was that a derelict Zeus in that one shot?
I think it was a reclaimer.
The white ship. No, there was a white. It was a derelict ship
Okay.
sitting on a planet or something. It was like in 2 seconds.
Did we just go past it?
It went a little bit. Yeah, it went. It's back some, I believe.
Two
Yeah,
sides of the coin.
Tell us when you see it.
Oh, it's coming up. Yeah, it's scanned right over it, and I said, "Well, it's shaped like a Zeus."
What were we gonna say, Kenley?
Two sides of the coin. For people who've played the game, you're familiar with this, and it's still beautiful. But then you think about a person who's never played this before. It invokes a lot of questions in a good way, and so you kind of give those shots, and it questions. It begs that person to question, what is this? And then it ramps up. You see conflict, you see explosions, you see engagement between the different people, and then you say to yourself, wait a minute, this is something I want to find out. What is going on with this? This is definitely another world or other places, these other points of interest. And you just say to yourself, what is this, in a good way? It's to invoke questions from someone who's never seen it before. Even though we've played the game, it's still exciting to see that it's just well done. It's well done.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, a lot of MMOs you really see. It may be land masses, but I Kimmy, you're right. It does. This game almost invokes, and maybe it's because it's a space sim, and maybe because we have landmass, we have everything to look at. We have planets, stars. I don't know. Maybe that's besides their work on it.
All right. So thank you for that. Again, this is Imagine 2.0 Star Citizen fan trailer. This is by the Breizh Gamer.
Oh, right there. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Oh, wait. Let me go back. Hold on.
Yeah, back a little bit.
Back more. Right there.
a
Oh,
little bit
hold on.
further.
I got it.
Oh, the space station, right?
Starfare.
Right there.
Right there.
That's a Starfare, yeah. I think
Starfare.
That's Starfare.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right. Yeah, it's really
that's what the
tore up.
mission places, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it
I'm
looked
sorry.
white. That's what threw me off.
Okay.
It might be the one on yellow. Is there one on yellow? I think there's one on yellow.
I'm not sure, but yeah. Alright, so thank you for that. Again, that's from the Breizh Gamer. Alright, so up next we have, oh yes, we're still doing the, we're still fundraising for Gamers Outreach. Even though we did the charity live stream a few weeks ago, we haven't reached our goal of 1,500. We're at 1,024, so if you want to donate to the worthy cause, please do so. After that we have, oh yes, we have news. So the next Virtual Bar Citizen is going to be Saturday, December 3rd. We're having 2 sessions now because we want to incorporate a more global community. So the early session starts at noon Eastern Time, and that's 5 p.m. UTC. And the late session starts at 5 p.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. UTC. So if you want to stay and do both, you can. Kuchanagi will put the link in chat for us, but yeah, go ahead and register. I don't have any word on how many people are registered so far because we just started, but yes, we're looking forward to seeing people. We can talk about IAE. Looking forward to that.
And wish DK a happy birthday because he'll be turning 47 2 days before that.
All right,
Okay, happy birthday, happy early birthday. So December 1st. Okay.
You're gonna be here, right?
Oh, I'll be here.
Okay.
Good.
Let's say.
Good.
May I mention something if it's okay with Griff? I hope I don't say something that
Oh, is it about before the thing?
Right.
Yeah, go
would that
ahead.
be okay? Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna, my son and I were gonna do a small warm up session, couple of hours before the show. We're gonna do a DJ set, and I'll let my son take it from here, and he can tell you the channel and everything it's gonna be on.
Basically, same channel, Fist to Face Gaming on Twitch. Basically just doing the same thing as we did last time. Just have a little fun, throw some tunes on if you're in the car, if you're driving, whatever, on your way back home or out and about. You can tune in and enjoy some music, enjoy some tunes, and before the Bar Citizen.
Yep, I put your link in chat for you. All right,
Appreciate
so up next we have
Awesome.
Podchat Saturday. So this is every Saturday, starting with us at 3 p.m. Eastern, that is 8 p.m. UTC. We have Soul Voices, and that's where we cover what's going on in the Star Citizen community, but it's more of a one-on-one conversation. We cover topics from Spectrum, Reddit, and something from the gaming industry in general. And that's a part of Podchat or Podcast Saturday, starting with us start with Soul Voices, then going to After Pub, and then Relay in the evening. So if you want a full day of podcast, this is a place to be. So please join and check this out. And after that, we have our next show is Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is 1 a.m. UTC. The Stanton POI. Basically talking about points of interest in Stanton, and it should be an interesting show. I'm looking forward to that. Watching it. We also have reaction and reviews. She-Hulk episode is up. Hope people enjoy that. We talked about doing a Wakanda Forever one, but a spoiler episode, but we decided against it. Probably wait till it comes out on streaming on Blu-ray. But we'll try to find other stuff to give reaction reviews to soon. Oh yeah, and Flight of Rhythm is tomorrow. I'm still working on the set, but it will be on the People's Radio at 2100 UTC. But that's around. Oh wait, I guess that's 4 p.m. Eastern now. But if you want to check out some smooth grooves, head over there at 2100 UTC. If you want to become a Soul Bro, Soul Sis, or Soul Mate, you click on the join button on YouTube. Membership has privilege. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, or follow, depending on whatever platform you're on. I want to thank everyone for joining us. We have Abby Kuchinagi, Big Black Gaming, Choo Choo, Dark Knight, Fisher Face, Kimmy, Poppin' Face, and we had Rain Cloud and Gomab. And thanks for everyone who followed, thanks for everyone who subscribed, and thanks for people who donated bits and everything like that. You can buy our merchandise. We show citizen everywhere on social media. I think that's about it. So take care, everybody. Peace, love, and soul. We are going to raid freaking Java. So take care.
Oh, perfect.
Great day, everybody. Have a good time.
Take care. Be safe.
Pepper cutter.
And the raid is live, and I'm in the